Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Josh's vlog video. I hope you've all had a really good week as usual, and I hope that we're all can get a little bit excited, as I said last week, about kind of coming out of lockdown, and we kind of see a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. Bit of an update, we are going to be looking fairly soon at and thinking about when we can go back into the building, so hopefully we'll be able to give something to you fairly soon. About a bit of an idea of when things will start to happen within the kind of process that the government has laid out, which is exciting. I'm looking forward to all of that and being able to see some of you guys again in person. Today is a little bit about that as well, about this kind of like roadmap that the government has given us, something that God has really spoken to me about since that was kind of put in place, and something that I've kind of been talking to God about in my own kind of devotional time with him, and it's kind of this feeling that he's kind of given me of, and I think it's for you guys as well, of, you know, I spoke a couple of weeks ago about using this time to deal with stuff that needed to be dealt with, and last week I spoke about retreating being a time where we can kind of go into a place of safety and tend to wounds and deal with stuff that needs to be dealt with, so that when we come back, we're in a much stronger place than we would have been if we had have just sort of stayed out and stayed where we were. And you see, God's kind of been talking to me about, I really think there's emotions here, and things that need to be dealt with that haven't quite been dealt with. And the risk now is that, as so many people, and as I have so often done, when we kind of like have something good happen, so when something like this happens and we can see a light at the end of the tunnel, all of the things that we were struggling with and all of the emotions that we were trying to deal with kind of get put on a back burner. You kind of forget about them, and they kind of get covered up slightly by the good thing that's happening. And there's a big risk that happens here as well, that when we come out of lockdown, all of those things that you were trying to deal with, all of those things that God was trying to do with you and in your life during this kind of period of retreat, that they will get forgotten about, and it'll be clouded by the fact that we can now go and do things. Now, don't get me wrong, what's happening is great, and I'm really excited that we can start to see this light at the end of the tunnel. But I really believe that God still has stuff that he wants to do with you in this time, and beyond that as well. So I've got a little bit of a kind of an activity I want to do, and it's something I'm going to be doing and have been doing, and has been really beneficial, and I think you should do as well. So it's kind of like two parts, and that's if you really think that, first of all, I guess, is kind of spend some time with God and try and work out what it is that he's trying to do with you in this time. And if you can work out what it is, then if it's something, I guess, positive, that he's trying to create something positive in you, then write it down and get it somewhere written, and kind of give yourself a goal. I like to think about physically where I am. I write down where I am in my kind of emotion and my faith, and I write down where I want to be. And that really helps me visualize the kind of steps it might have to take to get there. And then if it's something negative, if there's a negative emotions that you're trying to deal with in this time, and negative feelings, or maybe just depression or anxiety, or anything like that you kind of feel like you are in this pit and you're going to need some help getting out of it, then do the same. Write it down. And something I really like to do is write down all the negative that's sort of in my mind down the left-hand side. And then you write a line down, and then you write the fact, which is the positive, the things that are biblical truths, the things that you know to be true about your relationship with God, the positive things that people say about you. And then cut it off and give the negative to God and ask God to deal with that in this time, while we have potentially a little bit more time to talk through these things, and to deal with these things. Don't let things get covered up by the fact that a positive thing is happening, because what we want to be able to use this time still to work with God, to work through this stuff that is happening, and let him do the things that he wants to do in our lives at this time. So I hope that's been a little bit helpful for you guys this week. And once again, I hope you have a really good week. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you all in person as and when that may be able to happen. But yeah, have a great week, and we'll see you next week for the next video. Thank you.